Welcome to another edition of PEP Talk. I'm very, very happy this time to have our next guest, Tippa Irie, because we're actually broadcasting live in his studio. And most of these interviews that we're doing in Croydon, London, are courtesy of Tippa Irie and his wonderful studio with Lockdown Productions. So stay tuned. I know you remember, hello, darling, hello, good looking. And if you don't remember it, we're going to remind you. We'll be right back. So, Brother Pooh, thank you so much for coming to the show.
To be in these places at the time that. So yeah, I'm in the right place at the right time.
Yeah, what's up now? I told you the Jamaican accent was gonna come out. I'd love to be able to name all the bands, and I can't. But I know I'm gonna miss.
You've been called selfless, you've been called kind, loving, all kinds of stuff. We know you're passionate about. Talk about your little 10-month-old son.
Yeah.
Talk about that, your pride and joy.
I love my son. His name is Jawari, and he was born on Christmas Day. He's one.
So, Tippa.
Greetings.
Welcome to the show.
Bless.
Again, I want to thank you so much for hosting us while we're
No
recording
problem,
London.
no problem. It's nice to be invited, nice to, to be here to speak to the people. Nice to be on your show. Thank you.
Studio's lovely. I want to big up Trevor Young for coordinating this for us while we were back in Washington, D.C. And we're in London enjoying the vibes and everything is lovely. And if you've never been here before, you may understand why a lot of people, when they come off the plane, they start talking like I'm talking now because the accent is totally infectious. But we're going to go back into the yard to talk because
Okay,
we
darling.
know that you were born in London, right?
Yeah, I was born here.
And you have Jamaican heritage?
Yeah, my parents are from Jamaica. My parents are from Trelawney.
Oh, Trelawney?
Yeah, and but we're residing in Ochi right now.
Ochi.
Yeah, in a place called Ocean Ridge.
Okay.
That's where we have a place up there.
Okay, and let's talk about your musical career. We know the song that
Wow.
made you famous, but let's talk about when did you realize that you had a voice that you wanted to use so everyone could hear it? When was that? What age?
I'd say about 14, 15. My father had a sound system, and the sound system was called Musical Messiah. And we used to have a corner shop off of Cole Harbour Lane in Brixton. And basically in the basement of my dad's corner shop, every Friday night and Saturday night, he used to have shubbins. And he used to basically have his little sounds, set up his little sounds, and people used to come down there and dance the night away, basically. And him and his friend them used to play dominoes, ludi, all of the things what, Jamaican people did when we came over here. And he basically used to have bands as well, like the real thing, like disco groups. They used to rehearse in my father's basement as well. So as a youth growing up, I used to just be sitting in the corner watching the man them rehearse, listening to him playing U-Roy, Big U, Dillinger, Trinity, Tapazuki, all of the foundation DJs them from Jamaica, the first man them that did it. And I just said, basically I want to be like U-Roy. I want to do that. So basically, I used to just listen to them, imitate them, and then one day a cousin of mine said to me, you know what, you sound good. You need to go out there and go on to the local sounds them. So he took me to a King Tubby's dance. In fact, it was a sound system called Sir Lloyd. And I was on I used to go to Sir Lloyd dances, and then I went to a King Tubby's dance. And then they said, you know what, you sound good. So I basically joined up with King Tubby's sound and basically toured around the UK with King Tubby's sound. And basically it just grew from there. I started to enter talent competitions and started to win some of the talent competitions. And then one day I was doing a talent show at Ferndale Sports Centre in Brixton. And this guy called Lloyd Francis and Dennis Rowe, they had a sound system called Saxon. And they spotted me there. And then they basically asked me to see if I would chat on their sound. So me being an entertainer an inspiring entertainer, just wanted, wherever there was a mic, I'd want to go there and perform. So I went to Lewisham, went to some of their dances, and then that's where I met, there was people like Maxi Priest, Papa Levi, Daddy Colonel, and a guy called Peter King, and people like that. They were already on that sound. So I just basically went out over there, joined up with that sound, and the rest is kind of like history. The sound became popular and more popular. The cassettes started to circulate around the UK, spreading over to the States and into Europe. And then record labels became interested in what we were doing in Saxon, and basically it blew up. Maxi got signed to Virgin, Papa Levi got signed to Island, and Tippa Irie, Daddy Colonel, Rusty and Sandy, we all got signed to Greensleeve Records. And then that's where I made my first album, which is called Is It Really Happening to Me?
Is It Really Happening to Me? And
Yeah.
the song that I tried to sing
Yes.
when I was intro, because I'm not a singer. Hello,
yeah.
Darling.
Yes, it was on that album.
That song was so wicked.
Yeah.
Everybody everywhere was playing that song.
Yeah.
And you know, because we haven't heard that song in such a long time,
Yeah.
Tippa, you have to give it to us live.
Hello, darling, hello, good looking. Hello, darling, hello, good looking. Well, in the USA, I was out walking. A little young girl I was seeking. I see a young girl, she started smiling. I walked over, we started talking. I said, hi, babe. She said, how are you keeping? I said, I'm cool, I'm just doing my own thing. She said, hey, man, I hear you are the in thing. You're Tippa Irie from that Saxon sound system.
Hello, darling.
Hello, good looking.
Mad thing.
Yeah, my voice is kind of hoarse because I was in Rome at the weekend and I had something Saturday and last night. So.
Oh,
anyway.
you were in Rome?
Yes, we're
Okay.
still working hard.
You're still working
But
hard.
continue, we'll get there.
No, we'll get there. I mean, and then you had another hit that was called Hey Mama, which you did with
Wow.
the Black Eyed Peas in
Yeah.
2004. Tell us about that. How did you get to be on the same record with the Black Eyed Peas, first of all? And how was it working with them to get that song out?
Well, for me, I mean, when I did that song, they wasn't huge.
Okay.
You know what I mean? So
2004,
they wasn't huge at that time. But what it was, I was on a tour in California, and I was doing a West Coast tour, and I got a call from a lady called Shelley Roots, who's a friend of mine, and she did some agency work with Half Pint and a few other artists, and she basically called me and said that there's this guy called Motivate that wants to do some work with you. So he's like a DJ, but he has a studio within, Black Eyed Peas had a complex in LA, which basically they had a studio, but they had a premises where there were like 3 other studios within the premises. So I was in Motivate's studio doing a track with him called Everyday, and will.i.am walked by, and he heard me doing my things like, who the hell is this guy? You know what I mean? And then so he said, I'm gonna have something for you one day. So I said, okay, cool. You know, and I know they were kind of like big on the underground hip hop scene,
Right.
but they hadn't had Where Is the Love yet. They hadn't blown up. So I said, okay, you know, as you do, you just say, okay, cool, no problem, whatever. And then, so I did, I was in San Diego at a place called The Belly Up, doing a little show there. And Shelley called me, she said, oh, Tip, Will's ready to do that track with you, you know. So I said, okay, but I think at the time, Sean Paul was doing well and Wayne Wonder was doing well. So I think they wanted some kind of dancehall influence on their album. And I just happened to be in San Diego. So I drove up there, I heard the track, I listened to it, and I could have put something there and then, but I said, no, let me sleep with it. So I took it away and just wrote something, went back there the next day, and I just done cutie cutie, make sure you move your booty, shake that thing in the city of sin, and hey shawty, I know you want to party, and the way your body look, it make me really feel, you know, and they loved it basically. And he just mixed it there and then, and it went on the album. So, you know, and from the rest is history. So, I mean, Where Is the Love came out, which was the first single, and blew up, and I went, okay, looks like something's gonna happen for these brothers, you know what I mean? And then, luckily, Hey Mama was the 3rd single off of the album. I mean, a lot of people in the States didn't realize that they probably don't realize that Tippa Irie is on that track, because you know what I mean. But hey, I still got my publishing. Let's put it down to that.
And they're going to realize no, even if they didn't before, who's on that track. So you have 17 albums.
Yes, I have. I mean, I don't know if I could name all of them, but
well, you don't need to name all of them, but you know, it just tells that you've been working since you started. Yeah,
because I mean, even the Black Eyed Peas, they were very surprised to realize that I did so much work, you know what I mean? So they were kind of, you know, Taboo, who's the kind of Indian-looking guy, was like, Tip, I'm really happy for you that you've got this opportunity now because you've paid your dues and you've done a lot of work. So it's only right that, you know what I mean, you get some success with this track, you know what I mean? But I've done a lot. I mean, Is It Really Happening to Me was the first album. I've done an album with the Peter Hunting girl called New Decade. On Island, I did an album called The Original Ragamuffin. I've got one called Amidis. I've got one with the musical sniper, actually. He used to be Rapper Robert, who used to spar with Tippa Lee back in the day. I don't know if you remember Rapper Robert and Tippa Lee, but he's called Musical Sniper, and we done an album together as well. And I've done quite a few. So, you know, it's all about the latest one, though.
Yeah, quite a few. And we're going to take a break right now. When we come back, we're going to talk about Tippa's latest project, which is called Stick to My Roots. Very appropriate. So don't go anywhere. We're going to be right back with Pep Talk.
I stick to my roots, I stick to my roots, I stick to my roots, I will reggae roots, I stick to my roots, I stick to my roots, I stick to my roots, I will reggae roots. Come and say all kind of music of it play every day, and that's why the tip me still love me reggae. No matter what them do, no matter what them say, you know say in me house reggae music of it play.
Welcome back. Again, my guest is Tippa Irie. And just before the break, we spoke about 16 albums that he's done. But his 17th album, the latest one, is called Stick to My Roots. And this is with Tippa Irie and the Far East Band. Tippa, tell me a little bit about this project.
Well, this project is a project that I did with a gentleman called Marco Baresi, who's a drummer of the Far East Band. They're based in Berlin. And basically, I think I was in Long Beach doing a festival out there. And I met Marco from the Far East Band. He used to work with an artist that's very huge in Germany called Gentleman. And so we met backstage, and of course, he loved Hello Darling, Hello Good Looking. So he said, you know, we must do something together. So he sent me a couple of rhythms. He sent me 3 rhythms. And the first rhythm that he sent me was the rhythm for Stick to My Roots, the title track of the album. And that was the first vibe that came into my head, and so happens it was the first single off of the album. But yeah, and he basically said, you know, so basically I got the rhythms, I wrote the songs, I sent them back to him, and as soon as he heard them, he said, we need to do an album. So I said, okay, no problem, I will do it. So he just kept sending me the music, and I wrote the songs, and then we met up together and basically mixed the album together, you know what I mean? And so basically, this is project, I'm really proud of it. It's out now, you know, people can get it, they can pick it up on iTunes, you know, it's just Tippa Irie and the Far East Band, Stick to My Roots, but I'm really proud of it. I think it's my best album. I think it's whole. I'm not just saying that because it's the latest one. Why I'm saying that is because a lot of my other albums, I may be, you know, like on the first album, you'd have Hello Darling and maybe Good to Have the Feeling You're the Best. You have like a couple of tunes on there that were really outstanding. And the others kind of like made up the album. You know what I mean? And I find on a lot of my albums that, you know, I'd have 3 or 4 tunes that were really good, and then the others kind of made up the album. But with this album, Stick to My Roots, I think it's an album that you can put it on and every track is a winner. And every track I took time, and I'm really proud of it. You know what I mean? So it's really, I'm really proud of this, basically.
Excellent. And this has 14 tracks.
Yes.
Okay, and you wrote pretty much all of the tracks on
I
this?
wrote all of the tracks. I wrote all of the words, and Marco done most of the music.
Okay. Yeah. And do you have a favorite on this album?
That's hard. That's a very hard question. It's very, you know, it's got different types of reggae. You know what I mean? There's a track on there, Stick to My Roots is more 4 to the floor, like a Steppers. And then Horns Man Blow is more like a real one-drop roots tune. Then you've got Just My Lady, which is like kind of similar to Hello Darling in the vibe of it, you know what I mean? And then you got tunes like, you know, Just One of Those Days, like, you know, where you're basically having one of those days where there's promoters, you know, that want to book you for the shows, and they're lining up a tour, but then they break it to you that they haven't got any money, you know, and or basically it's basically praise without raise. You know what I mean? So it's one of them, you know. So it's like it's got a diverse topics, subjects. You know, there's roots, there's dancehall, there's lovers rock, and then there's kind of that swing J style on there also, like what I did with Hello Darling. So there's something for everybody on the album.
Everybody.
But,
okay. Yeah. I'm going to put you on the spot.
Yeah.
Normally I would just pick a track and say do this track because it catches my eye. But I want you to just think of a track on this album and just give it to us live so we can know what to expect when we go out and purchase this album.
I stick to my roots, I stick to my roots. You know, Mr. Irie, I have stick to my... Come me say all kind of music I fi play every day, and that's why they tip me just love me reggae. No matter what them do, ain't no matter what them say. You know say in a me house reggae music I fi play. If I dance and beat all the stepper, no matter which one, it make me feel much better. And then you fling on the sweet lovers rock. You know, Tippa feel it in the one drop. That's why I stick to my roots. I stick to my roots. I stick to my roots. My real reggae roots. And me say from me I dey a mini. From me a little bikini. Feel the beat and harmony. From the great Sly and Robbie, Lee Perry and King Jammy, Joe Gibbs and Mr. King Tubby. Make we dance and make we free. Like the bird up in the tree. Channel 1, scientists. Make the music sound so crisp. Back in Banaru Tradics, music that you can't resist. 9 a.m. me bridging with them cause Strike Ali, 10 Toes, Techniques, and Jack Ruby.
Seriously, if I wasn't hosting this show,
You'd be skanking, right?
Seriously, and you know, we do have a live studio audience, but we commanded them to be quiet on the set. And that's the only reason why you're not hearing all the forwards, but they're all doing it. Tippa that mad.
Respect.
Seriously. And,
respect.
Earlier you spoke about you just came from Rome.
Yes.
Tell us about some of the performances that you're doing right now to promote the album, and just because music is in your blood.
You can find out everything to do with me at my website. You just have to go to tippairie.com. And if you go to tippairie.com, when the site comes up, all of my social networks are on the site, whether it's Facebook, Twitter, MySpace, they're all there at the front of the site. So if you want to find out where I'm performing, what I'm doing, just go to tippairie.com and pick one of the social networks, and you should be able to find. Or just Google me.
Google
It's simple.
Baby.
It's just Tippaie, Tippa Irie, and simple for the website, tippairie.com. It's simple.
Excellent, excellent, excellent. Great show. We're
Enough
gonna
respect.
take one more break, because when we come back, we're gonna talk about Lockdown
Productions, yeah, that's the new label, what is mad in the UK right now.
It's mad in the UK.
Yeah.
And we're also gonna talk to Dan-I, which is one of the artists on the label. So stick with us. Don't go anywhere. Again, you're watching PEP Talk TV, and we are live in Croydon, London.
Yeah, man, if you know, say it's done to the iron of the building, and right now you're watching Pep Talk with Peppy. And them for know, say, I mean name Dan-I, Rastafari, I you King Selassie, I will meds and with the pan I, and still me swagger stay fly. Yeah, man, Pep Talk with Peppy, and you don't know, it's highly blessed. Aye.
Welcome back, and we are joined by Tippa Irie and Dan-I, who we're going to talk to later on. But just before the break, we introduced the company that's called Lockdown Productions, which is owned by Tippa. Tippa, tell us a little bit about this company.
Well, Lockdown Productions is a record label that I've started in the UK with my manager Dominique Walsh, who's based in Germany. So we have an office in Germany, and we have an office right here in Croydon in London. And also my engineer, his name is JB Baker. He's also an artist, but he's one of the CEOs of the company. So basically it's a label that we started to push forward the UK artists and to push forward the UK scene and to push forward to the world what we're doing over here in the UK. You know what I mean? So basically, at the moment, I mean, the first album that was released on the label was called Talk the Truth, which was my album before the album that I did now, Stick to My Roots. And then I have like 2 compilation albums, which is called UK Flu, Volume 1 and Volume 2. And then, of course, we've got Stick to My Roots, which is my latest album. And the next album that I have released on the label is with an artist called Joey Fever, who's from Sweden. And his album is called In the Fever, which is also out now on iTunes. So basically, you know, I'm working on my compilation albums with various artists from around the world. You know, there's also another album what I missed out, which is called The Sweet Jamaica Rhythm, which I have people, you know, from the Caribbean, like Little Hero, you know, and then I have people like Peter Honeygale, Nearest Joseph, and then on UK Flu, I've got people like Maxi Priest, JC Lodge, people like Nearest Joseph again, Dan-I, you know. Dan-I is one of the artists that we're working with. And there's also people from the Caribbean like Biggie Irie, Peter Ram. They're based in like the smaller islands of the Caribbean. And we've got people like from the artists from Japan, from Holland, people like Michael X, who's a rising star in Holland right now. So we're working with a diverse, you know what I mean, a lot of different artists, and you know, hopefully things are progressing.
Right.
You know what I mean, and the label is growing day by day.
Excellent,
you know?
excellent. And of course, we have one of the artists on the label, Dan-I. Welcome.
Yeah. Good to
Pep
meet you.
Talk. Yeah.
Bless.
Okay. So just tell us a little bit about yourself. Who is Dan-I?
Well, basically, Dan-I is new on the circuit regarding like the reggae music, but I do have history in the sense of I used to do garage music back in the days. That's like a English concept to kind of like hip-hop dance music that we used to run about when we was a little younger. And basically, I had a few tracks on that genre of music that went into the national charts and them thing there. So in the music background, basically, I got a good experience and toured a lot and a lot of recognition from that basically. But like as I got older, it's like I was coming away from that genre of music because it wasn't really breathing the message that I wanted to portray. Because music is a very powerful thing, so you know, what you show the youth them and what you tell people, they can take it up and follow it. So I see like the reggae as my platform in which I kind of learned my trade in the sense of from before I went on the dance music, my influences and them thing there. Like you had Bobby Ravel on the show, his father, and that they used to rehearse in my basement with Tumbi, the group, and we used to listen to Tippa them on the sound tape them when we were youth. So, you know what I mean? It's like the inspiration was always there. But how I got into the reggae basically is like I took a break, I had a few kids and, you know, so I gave thanks for that blessing, and then I thought like, how am I gonna get back into this music with the right approach? I took a holiday to Jamaica. I ended up in Rebel Salute, doing a Rebel dance, and it's like the vibrations, everything, it just like confirmed what I needed to be doing when I got back here. Cause being in England, it's hard to portray the reggae music, cause it hasn't got as wide a following like in Europe and around the world. So it's like we have to rely on the underground stations and certain movements to push the energy of the music, yes sir. So it's like yeah, I started the project and I recorded my first track, which was a track called Girl You Are. That's now on iTunes, and basically it got a good response from the underground DJs, etc. And being in the area, I see Tippa driving around a few times, so I think one of the time I might have jumped out in front of the car or something. I say, yo, well, go on. Yeah, I he's got his link, and that came round to the studio. He heard the stuff that I'd recorded previously and played me some of the stuff he was doing now. the connection just kind of linked from there, so you know.
Nice. So Tippa,
Yes.
Do you have a process, or how do you go about deciding who you want to be on Lockdown Productions?
Well, it's just, I mean,
because I'm curious about what made you decide to have Dan-I on the label.
You know, this, you obviously you listen to the artists, and if you can see the potential in them, you know, not just in their, you know, they've got to kind of have like the whole thing, you know what I mean? Because temperament is very important.
Right.
You know what I mean? Of course, you have to have talent, but you got to be able to, you know, I like to be upfront with my artists and basically be straight up with them and let them know what the situation is. Because what I find in the music business, you know, if you don't know, they ain't gonna tell you. You know what I mean? And that is what I think where a lot of companies go wrong. You know what I mean? Because I'm not here to pull the wool over nobody's eyes, or, you know what I mean? And to find that working, even with big groups, you know, they've got 20 managers, you know, and then when they want to speak to this one about something, then they're steering you to this person and that person and this person and that person. But for me, I just, obviously, I got to think that they're talented.
Right,
you know what I mean? And got the talented, and from I see that they got the talented, then I've got to be able to know if I can get on with them. You know what I mean? And then from I feel like I can get on with them.
No
you
egos.
know, no egos. You know what I mean? It's just level vibes. You know what I mean? And you know, from there we take it from there. We go, and then, you know, if they've, you know, Dan-I is a talented songwriter. You know what I mean? But some of the artists, them, you know, they're not blessed that way. You know what I mean? So me, even if they come to me and they got like a chorus, you know, I know that I can find, you know, the words or you know, the lyrics for them, for the song. And, you know, so we just nurture them, and then, you know, we try to get the best result, because sometimes for me, I take time with my music now, because I've learned that over the years, you have to take time and make sure that the music is up to standard, so that when you bring it to a DJ, you can bring it to them confidently. You know, I can bring my music to you confidently because I know and I feel within myself that you're going to want to play it because it's good music.
Excellent. And so, Dan-I, you maybe you didn't literally jump in front of his car, but how is the relationship that you have been so far since you started working with him?
I mean, it's good, car. Like I say, Tippa isn't dealing with like an ego kind of thing. So there's a lot of people that say and you're doing things, but Tippa just keeps quiet and just does it. It's like they say in business, the key is to under promise and over, you know.
Over fulfill.
Under promise and over fulfill. Right. So it's like Tippa, he's just cool, you know. It is what it is, and then when you do get the finished product and see what he's doing in regards to the product, you say, well, yeah, at least he's one of the few people in England right now that is actually pushing artists and promoting product in that sense, you know what I'm saying? So as an artist, I have to give thanks for linking man like Tippa Car. There's a lot of men out there that just want to play around with the thing, and we don't have no time for play.
Right. We don't have no time for play now. We want to make sure that you can actually sing.
Okay.
So we're going to put you... Sing Jay. Sing Jay. We want to make sure that Tippa made a good investment when he puts you on Lockdown Production. Yeah. So give us something live now that I run the thing.
And you fi check the situation, see where things are going. Have a conscious view on things that are happening. So many things are going wrong, what are we contributing? Just can't stand there and watch all the suffering. You have to love your neighbor and your fellow man. Help those you see suffering and give them what you can. Trust our oneness and be a guiding hand, and love will see us through, yeah. You gotta come back to love, a little bit of love, and live a life of love each day. And come back to love, some Tippa Irie love. A love is what we all embrace. And come back to love, some Rosie love. And live a life of love each day, yeah. Come back to love, I Selassie I love. Cause love is what we all embrace, eh?
Yeah, I love that. Tippa.
Yes.
Good
Empress,
good
bless,
choice,
bless.
I really don't want this to end. You know, this has been so wonderful. Dan-I, if the folks want to hear more or learn more about you, where can they go?
You can catch me on the F-book.
We want to big up all the people who we've had in London. Mike, our cinematographer. Trevor, our sponsor. Akil, our assistant. We want to big up all the people who came before Alan Charles, Vanessa Briggs, Bobby Bovell,
Peter
Honeygale,
Commander B,
Daddy Ernie, and all of you who are watching us from wherever you are, because I know the thing sort out, we're worldwide, and again, you're watching Pep Talk TV. Tell a friend, check us out, live and direct, 24 hours. Thank you for watching.
Bless.